Greatest heavyweight in the world! You going to the fire with it! Honestly, Shroud knockout. Oh! Your new welterweight champion! Oh my goodness!
Welcome into First Strike. We've got UFC 319. I've got the Apex Predators of the Octagon here to tear apart this fight card and give you guys our 3 early looks to try to beat the books. And we got some bangers here for this one. Excited to share some of these prices with you guys as we hear the breakdowns. But I've got MMA Jeff and Subhuman Gaucho ready to roll. Jeff, how you feeling today?
I'm feeling fantastic. Dana White Contender Series was a little lackluster last night, but I'll tell you what, there were some bets out there to be had, and I'm looking forward to this card. I see they added one of the Contender Series fights to this card on Saturday, so I think that might be one of the quickest turnarounds in UFC history. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think this is going to be an exciting card.
Subhuman Gaucho, it's UFC, it's pay-per-view. There's only going to be a few of these left before the Paramount deal gets released here. Have a chance to look at the card. Are you excited about this UFC pay-per-view event?
I love this UFC 319 card, man. Both from a fan perspective, it's great. I mean, top to bottom, I think it's got to be one of the best of the years. But also from a betting perspective, I think this card is just awesome, man. I think the dogs are going to be barking. I've got several I'm laying it with, and yeah, I can't wait, man. We got a decent PFL event coming up this weekend as well.
Unbelievable, to Jeff's point, that this rapid turnaround from the kick to the abdomen gets this guy not only a contract in the UFC, but hey, you ready to go? You look okay. You didn't wear much damage. Let's get you in the fight. But what a great card we have. We have some really big spots out there. GM3 old Zaychek's going to be a big one. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. Chase Hooper goes out there against Alexander Hernandez. We got some interesting spots out there, including the 3 fights we're going to talk about here tonight. MMA Jeff's going to kick us off. Close and Barbosa, Jeff. The floor is yours. How are we getting paid?
Yeah, this Barboza close fight should be a pretty good one. Close, he's sitting 15-3-1 as a pro. His only 3 professional losses came in the UFC against that tougher competition. He comes into this fight after a tough round 1 KO to Joel Alvarez, which, typically Joe's a submission guy, as we all know. I mean, he doesn't really knock too many people out. So I don't know what's going on with Close in his chin, but he seems to be getting knocked around quite a bit in the last few fights. He's generally a wrestler at heart with no threat of submission once he gets the fight onto the mat. He actually has no submission finishes. When he does get the fight to the mat, he just generally kind of, I don't say lays in praise, because he's generally on top being the aggressor, but he's not really doing too much to finish the fight. He's just getting the fight on the ground and kind of running time control on him. On the feet, he has shown some power. He's got decent striking ability. He's a well-rounded fighter. You got Barbosa on the other side of things. He's close to 40 years old. I think he's 39 and a half. He's got the 5-inch reach advantage. He's got a lot more ring experience. He's 24-12 as a professional. 30 of those fights, 30 of those have come in the UFC. Now, this dude's fought, and he's fought some good dudes. He lost to Bryce Mitchell. He lost to Giga. He lost to Dan Ige. He lost to Paul Felder back in 2019. He lost to Justin Gaethje. I mean, the guy's been all over the place. He's had some tough challenges out there. He still manages to be above 500 in the UFC. And again, with that level of competition he's facing, I think he is the more experienced fighter in here. Makes me wonder, though, on his side of things, coming up a weight class and not fighting in a little over a year, how is his performance going to be? Is there going to be a little ring rust? Again, 39 years old, that always scares me. But he's not fighting a young buck with Klaus here, or close to 37 years old. Prior to the year off, though, Barboza did have back-to-back 5-round fights. So he's shown he can. He has the cardio, and he can get this done if needed. I'm assuming he's been training, obviously with his time off. But he lost his last one to Lerone Murphy by unanimous decision. He ended up getting, they ended up getting fight of the night bonus. In fact, the fight before that, they got fight of the night bonus. In the fight before that, he fought Billy Q, clipped him with a knee in round 1, and ended up earning performance of the night bonus. So 3 of his last 3 fights have all earned some kind of credentials from Dana White. You got, Barboza. He's a well-rounded fighter. He can do it all from the striking, the grappling. He likes to use his speed to avoid the strikes and then catch his opponents off guard. I personally, in this one, think Close is going to try to stand and bang with him because he is trying to get into that boxing a little more. I think the exchanges are probably going to be a little too much for him, and then try to take this to the mat. But Barboza, as you see his takedown defense there on the screen, is 72%. So that's going to be a tough task for Close to get this one down to the mat. I think overall Barboza is the better fighter. Again, makes me nervous, close to 40. The year off, all that taken into play. I think this fight's going to be a lot closer than, it flipped as a dog to a fave. So I do think this is going to be a close fight. I think Barboza is going to end up the winner in this one, but I'm going a different way. I'm going to roll with the fight does not go the distance. This gives me a shot at either guy. You know what? Maybe Close gets him to the mat, tries for a submission. Maybe he knocks him out. But I do think Barboza is going to get it done. But either way, either fight does not go the distance at plus 120. And Mike's going to roll us with the guy that I just mentioned, Lerone Murphy, that beat my guy. Murphy versus Pico. Mike, what are we doing in this one?
Thanks, Jeff. Exciting fight there. I think we got another exciting fight with Lerone Murphy and Aaron Pico. As you look at this one, we'll see that this is a debutante to the UFC. We saw the last debutante to the UFC. That was Pitbull. Coming up from the other circuits, and he got busted up. Were the lights too bright? I don't know. That dude was almost 50 years old. On the other side of things here, we've got Aaron Pico coming into this thing. Young, a spry 28, 29 years old or so come fight night against somebody that's really had a hell of a career already in the UFC, and Lerone Murphy. You talked about some of the advantages he's had out there, some of the ways that he's gotten things done at 34 years old. I think you have to read between the lines. I always try to find some type of, we'll call it betting narrative, but I try to find something that I think kind of jumps off the page at me when it comes to these fights and trying to get involved with some of these price tags. And, first thing I saw with this fight is I like Aaron Pico. I thought, he's making his debut to the UFC, but he has fought, he has dealt with it before. And the narrative for this guy is they weren't going to release him from Bellator. They wanted to keep this guy around PFL, Bellator. This guy just couldn't get out of that contract, and he's always wanted to come and fight in the UFC. So here he goes. He's got his opportunity to do just that. He's a training athlete. He spends his time in the gym, albeit he hasn't fought for just about a year and a half or so coming off that KO. Look at this guy's pedigree in terms of how he's fought. KO finish. He did have a decision in there. KO finish. That was a shoulder injury. Shoulder popped out. All things not created equal. He has another KO out there as well. And on the other side of things here, it's a little scary to see that, Lerone Murphy, he's a decision specialist, it seems like, out there. What I like about this is you start looking at some tape on these guys. Look, they like to throw wild bombs. They like to throw bows, and they're going to try to do just that out there. Yeah, recently we saw Josh Emmett, Dan Egan, and you mentioned Edson Barbosa, some of those big W's for Murphy, the Miracle. He likes to strike, puts a high volume out there. Wild bombs being thrown galore out there. And if he can control the fight, get this fight the way he wants, maybe those lights do become a little too bright for Pico and it gives Murphy a shot. But on the other side of things here, look, Pico, the thing about this guy is he can wrestle with the best of them. He spent time training and number of collegiate spots out. Looks a little bit like Bo Nickel on the wrestling side of things, but he's got a ton of power. He likes to throw those bombs as well. So this guy's kind of got multiple facets in terms of how he can get out there and win the fight. He can have explosive wrestling. He can be a powerful striker. And if he can manage the situation and, deal with these bright lights in his UFC debut, then we have ourselves a live debutante. The way that I want to play with this one, though, is I want to take a shot with the fighting style between these two guys, the significant strike output, the wrestling capability, lots of ways for finishes in this fight. And we got a plus 158 price tag for this fight not to go the distance rather than backing Pico, who I do like, and I'll have a bet on him come fight night. I think this gives us the opportunity to see something happen early, whether it be the lights too bright for Pico, whether it be that he goes out there and starches Murphy. He's going to want to look to start off the bat, press forward, put Murphy in an uncomfortable position and try to dictate this fight. Either way, it leads to some type of a finish for me in this spot. I like this. I know it's the co-main, but look at the reason that we've got this fight in the situation it is Aaron Pico, Lerone Murphy. Someone's getting fast-tracked for a title shot. And that wouldn't be out of the realm to see a guy come in here in Bellator and PFL experience, go out there, beat up an undefeated fighter in the UFC. And, he's calling out guys like, he wants the spot. He wants the shot. He's calling out Volkanovski. I mean, there's a lot of opportunity here for this fight and Aaron Pico, like what he's going to do here with this 28, 29-year-old moving into the UFC. But I like an early finish in this fight. Give me this plus 158, and we'll look for, I think Pico KO is a great play. I think, probably Murphy on the other side to get a KO is a great spot with this one here. But for me, this is a plus 158 price tag. Either way, we end this thing before the judges' scorecards. We don't want to see a repeat of last week with Miles Johns. Judge effery at its finest here. Let's see these boys dust them up early. Let's get everyone excited, get them out of their chairs, and see an inside the distance finish here. Subhuman Gacho is going to take us to MVP Cannonier. Another big battle on the main card. Can't wait to hear Sub's breakdown.
Well, great stuff, lads. I like it. I like it a lot. And I like this fight a lot. Big fan of both these gentlemen. Cannonier, you want to talk about a UFC veteran. The guy's got 26 fights in total, 19 of them in the UFC. This will be lucky number 20 for him. And he's had a great run. Of course, started at heavyweight. Has come down, first to light heavyweight, now to middleweight. He's been in middleweight for a while, and really good run in middleweight, man. We've seen him get a crack at the title. But all that said, he is 41 now, and I do think that to some extent, at least, the wheels are kind of starting to come off. You get the sense that he's slowing. And more than that, he's getting hurt more and more often, too. I do think that the durability is becoming more and more of a concern. Nice win over RoboCop in his last bout. Unfortunately, I took an under there, and I was kind of thinking that it would be RoboCop getting a finish. Well, RoboCop hurt him multiple times early. Could have had him out of there. It ticked just over. RoboCop slowed down miserably, and then it was Jared Cannonier that got the knockout. All the same, decent performance from Cannonier. RoboCop's been on a really good run. And then on the other hand, Michael Venom Page. I mean, this guy just seems timeless. He's getting up there in age 2. He's 38 now. Still a few years younger than Cannonier, but Michael Page is not slowing down. In fact, I think Michael Page looks as good as ever, making people like Shara Magomedov look silly on the feet. Did drop a fight to Ian Machado Gary, but even that fight, he was making Ian Gary looked pretty dumb on the feet, and it took Ian Gary really getting the wrestling shoes on and over to overcome that. So in this one, to get right to it, I love MVP in this spot. I've got a max bet on his money line, average line in the 170s. And, if you don't want to get cute, you can just stick with the money line or, even throw him in a parlay. It has gotten a little bit more chalky now. But I think that we're going to see Jared Cannonier knocked out here. Michael Page is a little bit of a weird fighter to cap because in a way he's kind of low volume, but he just really has a great way of freezing people. He's very hard to track down. Like I said, Jared Cannonier's been getting hurt more and more and more. And I think for Jared to win this fight, he would really have to put on the wrestling shoes, get the pressure going, get the leg kicks going. The trouble with that is he's not really a great wrestler to begin with, and he just doesn't really fight that way anymore. If you look at these recent Jared Cannonier fights, he's pretty content to just fight a distance, and it's just not really working out anymore, Ty Burrell was able to dummy him pretty well on the feet, and Kel's a guy that's not even really, known as a primary striker. He's really known as a wrestler and a great grappler. Nasruddin Imavov as well, really putting it on him, hurting him, probably an early stoppage, but Imavov does get the KO. And, I think Michael Venom Page gets the KO this Saturday. And the line is absolutely crazy, as high as plus 440 at the Camby books, Rivers, Bally's, Unibet, and all that. And, it's a big number. It does feel like in some ways a long shot. But I can't ignore what I see here as some real value because, Michael Venom Page is going to land his shots. And at 41 years old, I just don't think that Cannonier's long for this UFC division. About time to retire, and I think Michael Venom Page might retire him for good come this Saturday. So plus 440, we're taking a long shot, but I really like it. And let's bring it in.
There it is. 3 fights broken down by the UFC team here with Sports Money. Excited. We got some big price tags. If there's ever been a week you're going to go out there and tail and look for the first strike parlay, it's this week. This is going to be around 30-1 odds out there to get this thing home for us. Going to be a lot of fun for the UFC 319 card. It does start a little bit later, so we'll pop off around 6:30 live. Going to go out there, live bet. We'll sweat it together. It's going to be a lot of fun. I always enjoy the time with you guys betting these MMA cards. And Jeff, thanks for joining us. Tell them where they can find you.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this card. As you mentioned, we got I got 3 in a row here, looking for 4. So you can follow me over at XMMA Jeff 19, and you can always find me floating around the Sports Money page. Good luck, everybody.
Subhuman Gaucho, great job. Big price tag. Kahuna's on the line. Tell them what's going on, where everyone can find you.
You can always reach out to me on Twitter, Subhuman Gaucho, and you can find all my action at betmma.tips. And got a lot of dogs this week, a lot of motion on these lines, a lot of CLV. So hopefully we have a great night on Saturday.
Should be a ton of fun, you guys. Appreciate everybody taking the time to watch this. Make sure you take a second to hit the thumbs up. Share your favorite fight in the comments. Give us your best bet. And you can follow me at X at PimpSlapPod. Thank you guys all. Enjoy the week of sports betting, and we'll see you on Saturday for a great live stream. Take care, everybody. Monday to Friday, 6 p.m. We don't stop. Rain, sleet, or snow. Pregaming is good to go.
Snow, Curtis blow, flow, fuck all you haters. Fuck making big shoes and best simulators. Fuck cashing in, all we wanna do is win. Put the juice in the gin, now it's time to begin. Fuck the books, they can take it on the chin. Surrender in dividends, don't fuck with mine. Damn, the show starts with capping and ends with them slapping and stacking cash and boatloads. They won't know what happens with pre-gaming and others. They seem lame, like Abel meeting Cain. A bullet to the brain. We don't give a fuck, like Kiki said. We ain't playing, we ain't game, but we ain't playing.
I'm back, and I'm joined with my guy. Oh, get a fight! Get a fight! Get a fight! Get a fight! Welcome into Pregaming here on Sports Money. I'm your boy, Mikey Money, here to bring you guys a big sports betting Friday card. Excited for the action. We've got 5. I added a Major League Baseball play, 5 plays to talk about on the diamond tonight. Quite a lot of action out there, so we're live with it. Let's get it fired up, and let's see if we can't get some money in our pockets. We'll talk the Brewers and the Reds. No, I am not playing they've won 21 straight spot. Nope. In fact, I think they lose this series. Write it down. Get your pens and pencils out and write it down. Hopefully they do win tonight so that I can bet the Reds the rest of the series. As we roll on, we've got action in Miami and Boston. Can the hot Red Sox bats continue to smash? We've got the Angels and the Athletics. We've got some action to close us off in San Diego and the Dodgers. I added the Rangers and the Blue Jay spot. So we've got some early action, some later action, and then we fill the middle of the card up with WNBA action. We're going to talk about the LA Sparks and how they're going to fight against the Dallas Wings. We're going to bring her home with Seattle, the Storm taking on the Dream, the immediate revenge spot. We'll take some NFL preseason. Got a game out there with Kansas City and Seattle. Some trends you need to know before you bet. that particular spot, I added the Titans game as well. So both NFL preseason games will be in play. We've got action in 2 of the 5 WNBA games. We've got all kinds of things happening, and we got to get it all tied up before 6:45, because that's when our friend joins us direct from Las Vegas. Andrew Babakitis will be here to share the action behind the scenes. What's happening with the sports book out there at Las Vegas and the Superbook, particularly where's that cash coming in? What do we need to know? All those important things to help us get ready for a big UFC 319 live stream. And of course, yeah, we'll be live. We'll be betting. We'll be cashing. We'll be cooking them books together with you guys for a later start. I believe it's around 6:30 that we'll be popping off. So that means we'll probably be going till like 1 a.m.-ish, maybe a little bit later. They were supposed to have 15 fights on the card. I believe it's got knocked down to 13 between an ankle injury and a weight cut miss. Brian Battle, now consecutive weight cut misses. Only a matter of time before he gets bounced from the squad, from the roster. Dana White did come out and confirm that it was a lie. They have not dropped Conor McGregor from the fight card, or from the UFC roster, I should say. Said that on his Instagram page. And he knows, and you know, and we all know, Conor McGregor wants to come back and fight. He said he wants to fight John Jones on the UFC Washington, D.C. card next 4th of July, live from the lawn of the White House. Pretty cool stuff. Pretty exciting. But we got a lot happening here. Tonight's going to be a big night. We got, again, plenty of games here. I've already given you guys some action to think about for the weekend as well. We've got 2 NFL preseason games that we locked down on Tuesday. Try to beat those lines. We'll see what happens as we get towards game time. We got a big slate tomorrow. Lots of games, lots of action. Of course, we've got the EPL back in play. Gave out a winner today. Also gave out a goal scorer today. Man, I tried to cash Mohamed Salah live. I tried to get a 750 bet in there around the 85th minute. They weren't having it. I messaged Sub. I was like, watch him score around like the 97th minute. No, it was the 95th minute, but he got it. I have a parlay that's still alive. Matter of fact, I will share that with you guys. If you want to venture into the prop betting market of the English Premier League, I've got 4 players that rank off the board for high probability of getting goals done. We look at the Man City squad. Erling Haaland is the guy that I am looking to lock in for a goal on the 12:30 start tomorrow. We'll roll over to Sunday, where we have Bukayo Saka. He'll be looking to score a goal at plus 275 price tag in that Arsenal Man United game. And I've got 2 players, a same game parlay, because there's a boost out there. Chelsea and Crystal Palace. Pedro and Palmer. Pedro and Palmer are the goal scorers out there. That same game parlay, by the way, plus 455. Chelsea should easily go handle Crystal Palace, at least find the back of the net. We cashed our both teams to score an over 2.5 in the Liverpool game. I thought Liverpool was going to lose with around the 85th minute. It was tied up. What a great spot to live bet Liverpool, the defending EPL champions. I did not, however. We got PFL tonight. The Professional Fighting League will be going off there. It's not a tournament card, but it is a big card. I got a couple plays out there for you guys. I'll give you some spots right now if you want to write these down. Marceli Alves to win by decision should be priced around a plus 200. Liz Carmouche to win by decision should be priced around plus 255. And then I have the main event. Gadzi Rabanadov. That sounds about right. Rabanadov to win inside the distance. I think he wins by KO. That's priced around minus 130. I kept the options open to keep me on minus 200. That parlay is going to come in around 20-1 for the PFL tonight. So, yeah, we're firing. We got some action in play. We've got a big card to get to tonight, which is well-deserved because last night's card sucked. I said I could make a case for every dog. That didn't go that way. I'll say this. We'll talk about it really quick because absolutely the only currency in this business is our transparency and recapping here. And yeah, it was a down day overall. We started off big. We had Toronto. We had the under. We had that Toronto in the under. Miami in the under 8 did not cash. Miami lost outright to Cleveland. This might be time as I reflect on that game and I was watching the second half of that game and the way Miami fell apart, that we start thinking about that fade on Miami to finish off the year. They are who they are. How about that New York Mets game? I said, can't believe I'm betting on the Mets team total over. I think I don't want to count on are the Mets to score. I don't want to need the Mets to score. And I said, probably could take the Atlanta team total over. The game should go over, especially after the previous night's game. But wouldn't it fuck everybody if Atlanta wins that game 4-3? Yep. That's what happened. Can't make that up. Scooble. Do we have to recognize that? Is there something wrong with Scooble? Dude went deep, just didn't get the Ks. I mean, he was out there for what, the 7th inning? But he finished with 3 strikeouts. Not so good. So our 3-leg parlay did not cash. I told you I had that for a no sweat bet. So I fired that no sweat bet right back down on the Cubs in the under today. So that did not cash either. We did cash the Nationals money line. Probably the easiest money of the night. That was a nice little plus 165 by the time the first pitch was thrown. And that was just a reflection of what we heard, breaking news. Their plane didn't land until almost 3 p.m. and they went right to the stadium. They came out early. They did not finish late. Colorado got absolutely thumped by Arizona, but the takeaway there is the entire planet was on the over. That game stayed under. Comfortably under, too, if you think about it, because it was 12s that moved up to 13s, even 13 and a halves. It was an 8-2 final. So that was a loss. And then the worst one was the Winnipeg Bombers. Debauchery at the end of the game, bad special teams turnovers out there lead to a late score, an absolute late score at the very end for the Ottawa Red Blacks. Not only did they not cover that -4 in Winnipeg, they won by 3, did not cover the 4. They screwed the underbettors as well. So tough breaks in those spots. However, we did get those 2 player props I gave you guys. We talked about some of these K props that I looked at. Jesus Luzardo got over 6.5 Ks. He finished the day with 7. Tanner Bybee, under 5.5. Didn't like playing unders. He did finish with 5. So despite Cleveland finding a way to battle on them boys, that's the way the day finished out yesterday. Thank you guys all for checking us out here today. Again, we got a lot of action to get to. We're going to go down. I want to see the best bets that this chat has in play, the best damn chat in the business. They settle in right here where we compare all our notes. We look at all the last minute line movement, cash flow, trend analysis, you name it. We're going to try to look at it. I got one for you guys. It's not a bobblehead night. It's not a birthday. We don't care about those. We do have player day, player weekend. And the player we're going to focus on, we'll talk about as we get down this card. There's a guy that I think is absolutely prime to smash the cannon. His home run prop is plus 275. I don't like taking him at that price tag. I just can't see a world in which he doesn't go out there and get 2 of his next, at least 1 in the next 2 of the 3 games. So that means 2 games over the 3-game, 4-game series. He's going to cash. And I think if he cashes for us, then we'll be profitable. There's some live bets out there. There's some promos. There's some incentives from the folks of DraftKings, FanDuel, and the rest for live home run prop betting. Maybe a play to look for that, especially after the first time through the order. That plus 275 will probably turn to a 350 to a 450, maybe even a 500. I don't know. But I do know that you guys are here to join me and talk about this baseball card. We're going to see how we can get paid here tonight. Before we even get moving, though, the most important thing you guys can do to support the cause is smash that thumbs up button. It's good business. Come in here. Let YouTube know this is not only the winningest show on YouTube, but the best damn chat in the business. And we all congregate under the Sports Money Network banner to build our bankrolls collectively together. Comments after the show are tremendous. We love those. Those help us continue to boost the algorithm. But in show, the most important thing you can do is just take a second. It only takes a second to smash that thumbs up. You close the chat, you hit the thumbs up, you pop the chat back open, and we'll fire off this card today. What do you say? All right. All righty. I'm ready. I know you guys are ready too. We're here to do this thing. We got 30 minutes to pop the top on the shop before we bring our guy in from behind the counter at the Superbook to talk about what the heck is happening for the pay-per-view card. We'll see if we can't sneak some PFL info in there. I like this PFL card. I looked at it. I thought there's a couple spots I want to hammer on. I put a parlay, as I mentioned, out there for you guys, which, of course, if you're looking at I gave you the individual plays, but you parlay those together. Yeah, listen, there's a lot of ways to get paid in this card here tonight. I'm going to tell you this right now. I took Robert Watley, gave him out as a premium play. He was as high as 150, plus 150. He started at 145. He went up to 150. He's been coming down. He's been taking action. That's 9:15 tonight. You got to keep in mind with some of your books, they may shut you down before we get to those fights. So if you're going to play on the PFL, just bear that in mind. You have to be familiar with the rules of your book so that you're not left there pissing in the wind, trying to make a winning bet, and they've closed it down. So this card starts at 6:30. Get ready, get set. Get your best bets in the chat. Let's talk about what you guys are on. Let's figure out how we're going to get to the window tonight. And shout out to everybody that's here. My guy Vitalis is rocking with us. He's checking in. Just put in a battle and shake it. Bottle. Damn, put in a... Damn, I missed it right off the gate. Shout out to Northwest 425. There's a new chatter. Says, so glad you do MMA content too. It's the only sport I follow. Well, welcome, my friend. Fridays are the best time. We start the week off with VB MMA Picks and Ramon Scott. You may know VB MMA Picks is one of the best damn UFC cappers on the planet, and he collabs with us and we co-stream his fight card breakdown with his invited guest, including Mr. Blonde this week, who's also one of the more astutely highly ranked cappers in the UFC business. Gave you guys 3 fights. We fired off with First Strike that you saw before we got into this show for another 3 fights. That means on a 12-fight card, we've already covered half the card for you guys. So make sure you go check those videos out. Smash the thumbs up out there. We got some back and forth content. I love it. I love seeing the comments. And of course, speaking of comments, make sure you guys do drop your best questions your questions, whether they're good or not, I guess we'll determine. But Andrew's going to answer questions for us. He loves to talk about what he can within reason regarding the books and where we can we'll certainly be asking. We'll be talking quite a bit about it. I think I couldn't have spelled reminder much worse. Shout out to We Do. Mikey on 3 minutes early again, 15 minutes early. Try to give you guys some lead-ins as we get moving through the football season. Can expect more football content Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays with primetime game breakdowns. We're going to try to shuffle around the crew and get you guys some different looks, some different analysis on the NFL and college football, big-time games that are taking place. And we'll try to use those as lead-ins for these shows as well. There's a rhyme and a reason for it. Northwest is good. I do UFC pick videos every week. Dude, that's good to know. This is who you got in the main event. I'm still determining. That seems like a sketch line for DDP. And there's a lot of talk about Chimaev gassing out, which just seems ridiculous. We'll see. Northwest likes MVP to win by decision. Says Gary had to wrestle to beat MVP. Comes at by round 1 submission. Chimaev. I like it. Cedric's here rocking. Barry's ready to roll. Lovable Plays is here. J Mains, check it in. Stop Gio says, let's get it. Good luck on your tickets, my people. Robert McCormick. Peter Grassi is here. Always supporting the show, liking and reposting. We appreciate all you guys that take the time to do that. Says happy Friday. Temps drop, big breeze, wind at Fenway. Let's cash. Temps have dropped. That is the best thing that's been going on today. Shout out to Nicholas Handy. Sir Mackey love pies. Says I could teach you how to be sharp. I think we're doing all right with it. Nicholas Handy says, tell me that your avatar is Bruiser. Not mine. Bruiser Brody, he says. Okay. Chosen One's got some action, though. He's dropping in Miami, Boston, under 8.5. Andrew G says, big UFC weekend. This card looks great. This one looks like a lot of fun. Let's see. Roshia. Anyone in New York having trouble with FanDuel? I got to say, ever since I shouted it out here. I think they are listening. I was happy to see that I won a FanDuel or a DraftKings contest. Probably be seeing that on Twitter. Got to enter. When you see those things, I'll just say that. You got to enter. I'm not sure what I'm getting, but I'm getting it. And I'm going to be spending it on the air with you guys. So we'll figure out a way to reinvest that. It's a bonus bet that I was a recipient of. I was notified today. So no, I haven't been messing around too much with FanDuel. So Mackie Left Pie says, MVP gets knocked out. Vitalis says Fridays. Peter Gracia says, unreal night in Boston. The Sox gonna smash. Park the car. Go sit at the bar. Watch the Sox. Jay Main says Padres plus 1.5 is easy cash. Nicholas Handy says, damn, dude. We got fight starting in 15 minutes. I feel tardy. Robert McCormick says Brewers first 5 -0.5. Sports betting. Perky, the groovy alien. Says, please get into the Phillies game. Need your breakdown. Jeff Matthews says week 0 is here finally next week. Yes, we are down to 8 days. ZC says he can't log into his FanDuel account. Vital says doesn't even think he has the Phillies game listed. The under is the play that I would make in that Phillies game. That's it. I don't suspect they'll lose after bouncing back. I'll tell you what. I did make. All right, so listen, this is maybe a little fucking crazy. It's Friday. I don't mind being a little crazy on a Friday. So they gave the 100% boost with a max of $250. I maxed it out. I laid 4-leg parlay. The Phillies, the Red Sox, the Yankees, and the Diamondbacks. Phillies, Red Sox, Yankees, Diamondbacks. With the 100% boost, it's 10.5 to 1. 4-leg parlay. Is it square? I don't know. I know $250 pays out significantly. So do with that information what you will, but I like the under in that game. Sharp Perspective betting action came in on the under 8. That was around -114 that I dropped the bet in on that as well, but you guys are asking for it. I'll share it with you. That's what we're going to do. Vital says, I have Phillies with Wheeler strikeout props. Also, the analysts believe in the over. I do not. Phillies game don't break 8 today. I agree. I might even have... No. I have some props. We might as well talk about some props. We'll talk about them as the games pop up. I've got a prop for you guys in the Toronto game. Prop in the Red Sox game. I think we have a prop in every game we're covering, +1. +1 in the Arizona game. So, on that note, let's get the show started, you guys. We're viewer supported. So it's very important you guys show up and smash that thumbs up button. If you haven't done so already, get out there and become a member. Show some support to the squad here. Keeps us coming back doing what we do. We don't get checks from corporate America. All we have is our work, our cap. You guys supporting us and taking a second to go over to Winnable. You don't want to miss out what's going on with Winnable. That's what our transition process to make sure you guys get the best bets. They have a great delivery mechanism with text alerts. They've got free plays. We do plenty of free plays. And they've got our best bets. Maybe it's afternoon action. Maybe it's just a couple spots that we really like. If you want to slim down the action, it don't matter. You can go on over to Winnable. Sign on up. Get those text alerts. Don't miss the action as soon as it drops. It's your boy, Mikey Money. I'm inviting you to join the Sports Money crew on Winnable. Get all of our premium best bet selections.
For a low monthly cost, you get the very best bets delivered instantly to your phone by text the moment they're locked in. No delays, no missed lines, just the smartest plays at the best odds.
We do the work. You get the plays sent straight to your phone right when you need them.
Don't wait. Don't guess. Don't miss the line. Join the winning team today and start cashing tickets with Winnable.
It's important we talk about this for a second because there are some services out there that are just looking to skull fuck everybody. I mean that in every sense of the word. They're whacking you guys over the fucking head. They are grotesque in their multi-$1,000 packages, and you can get a week for $7 or 7 days for $100. And listen, I'm gonna tell you this: NFL 25 is the promo code. NFL 25. I'm gonna put it in the chat. No, I don't, Sir Mackey. I don't partake in those festivities. NFL 25. Whoops, not like that. This is uniform across Ramon Scott, myself, and MMA Jeff. This discount code is going to revolutionize the industry. We are slashing prices. Blue light special. I don't care what you want to call it. We're going to be the low cost leaders. We're transparent. You guys see how we cap. We give you recaps on a regular basis. And literally, in on and around $100, you're going to get a 6-month package. All plays, all sports. We set the industry on fire with the NHL with over 65 units gained. We're up over 110 units in Major League Baseball. Keep in mind, we bet 1 unit a pop. We don't chase. We don't double up or triple up or quadruple up. It's just all hard work, grinding out the card, professional grinders we talked about yesterday. And it's important because, some people will be up and they cash their 5% play, but, maybe they lost their 2% plays for 3 or 4 days. And it's just not, it's a shell game. It's an illusion. And we're not here to play those games. We want to give you guys good hard work, good honest capping, give you our best bets, our premium selections. And you can do that over at Winnable. So that's my 2 cents on that. I appreciate it. Many of you guys have signed up already. I love that. Thank you guys. That means a lot. Matter of fact, I put a limit on there and it's getting close. So keep it coming. I'm happy to extend it. The whole idea is it's economies of scale. It doesn't matter if you're $5 better, $50 better, or $500 better. I want to give you guys access to the information without breaking the bank. And you know how we cap. So when we give these plays out there, you get an idea of what that process looks like, what's going into the action that we're giving you guys. Let's talk about this action with this Brewers game as we start the show here. We're going to move at a brisk pace. We got to get that stuff out of the way. It's very important. That's how we're going to continue to grow this thing. And again, I want to thank you guys all for being here. I'm going to tell you this. I said this already. I think the Reds are winning this series. Now, I was off about fading the Brewers last series. I just can't imagine in the state that we're in here right now. This line's at minus 138. That's kind of low. I guess it's right around where I would peg a road team, but it's dropping. It's gone down 3 cents, and you have 81% of the bets and 68% of the cash on the Milwaukee Brewers. The red hot 121 straight. Everyone's fucking on them, telling you got to play them blind. I get it. You want to throw a couple dollars at it blindly and just continue to ride the streak until it bucks. That's fine. If you haven't played them yet, you missed the trend. This total at 9 has 83% of the bets and 71% of the cash on the over, and it's come down a half a run. Mizorowski will be starting for the Milwaukee Brewers, and he's been playing pretty well to start the year. He's 4-1, which is only significant because he's got a 2.7 ERA. So he's locking him down, he's shutting him down, and the team's backing him up. Obviously, they're fucking killing everybody right now. Nicky Martinez will start for the Cincinnati Reds. And, look, reasonable effort out of this young feller as well. In fact, look, the Reds played well at home. They're certainly better at home, 35-27 than they are on the road. But the Brewers, doesn't matter where they play, they're just dominating everybody. I guess when you look at this, when it comes down to, Nick Martinez, what's been happening with this guy? I mean, he's doing the job. He had a shit start. He went 5, he went 6. He got a 2 in there. Came back, he fired off a 7. So if the Reds are going to win this game, to me, it's got to be a low scoring. You don't want to get into a slugfest with this Milwaukee Brewers team that's just setting the world on fire. And this is where I'm going to take this under. When I looked at this game and I thought about some of these numbers, first of all, we're seeing these numbers start to drop to 8.5. So we've got reverse line movement. That's so important, especially on totals, because we know that the sharps will try to kind of find that middle. They'll try to look for it. And here's the deal. If the Reds are going to win, it's got to be lower scoring. What do they do when they're facing a team that's on a 3 or more game winning streak? They go under. They rise to the occasion. It's like they needed that proverbial 2x4 on the side of the face to wake them the fuck up. And they're 40-16 to the under. 40-16-4, in fact, over 60 game sample when they're facing a team on a 3-game or greater win streak. Keep in mind, the Brewers win today, probably got to just auto bet the Reds tomorrow. in my estimation. But that's how I want to start the card. Warren Dorian's in the house. Good evening. I'm on the Reds. Action Jackson says, like it up. Nicholas Haney says, Isaiah Diggs, rounds 2 and 3. Nicholas Haney says, PFL's live on ESPN Plus. J-Man thinks Nick Martinez is going to get hit in the head. All right. Yes. Peter Gracia. We were talking about that yesterday. Should be a little bit, I don't know. It's a little over 100. bear with me. We're reasonable. We're reasonable here. But of course, we give all kinds of extensions too. So don't you guys worry about that. I appreciate you taking the time to join us. Let's go. Brewers under 9. I told you I like that Phillies under already. I gave you guys a bunch of props. Fucking prop shop in this piece here today. Let's keep it moving. Let's pick up the pace. In fact, let's give some rapid fire shots here. Yeah, Boston. I expect them to get out there and fire runs. You know, we look at the Red Sox and their overs are 7-2 at home in their last 9 on top of it. So yeah, we've got favorable hitting conditions. I don't want to mess with the side. It's a little too juicy for me. Minus 168's come down to 165. 87% of the bets, 92% of the cash are on the Red Sox. And yet it's coming down. 8.5's not moving. Juice to the over with 91% of the bets and 95% of the cash. Challenges. Lucas Giolito's been playing pretty well. He's got a 3.77 ERA on the season. Sandy Alcantara has been the guy I want to pick on with this game and why I opted to try to take advantage of this team total spot. You know, we talked about the Devers trade and what that's done for the Red Sox, and look, they're on fire. They've won 7 of 11 games in August, but they're cruising. They got almost 70 runs. They're almost getting 10 runs a game. Then you look at Alcantara, and yeah, he had that injury and that setback. Maybe that's why his ERA has been bloated up to that 6.55, but he's given up 11 runs over 12 innings, just 9 strikeouts in recent form. So the month of August, I think we're going to try to pick on this guy. Well, he's vulnerable. Of these players, I told you that there's a player prop I like in this spot too. Alex Bregman's got to be the guy you look at. Alcantara's been struggling against righties, and Bregman, it's been fucking on fire, man. His last 6 games, he's hitting almost a 350. He's got a 1.16 OPS. And look at his hits, runs, and RBIs. Over 2.5 is sitting around plus 120 price tag. I like the RBI spot for Alex Bregman. Maybe the home run spot tonight as well. We've seen Alcantara giving up some runs, but the whole hits, runs, and RBIs kind of keeps everything in play, and it's a nice price money plus tag. Plus money price tag, excuse me. Well, I fumbled around with that one. One game that I added, where was it? Let me see. I don't have a graphic for it, so I'll just fire it off. We'll just rapid fire away if that's okay with you guys. That's what we're going to do today. Yep. There it is. Oh, I think I see why. I see what happened. Oops. I covered it up. Texas and Toronto. Texas Rangers rolling north of the border up in the 6, going to the road, facing a red-hot Blue Jays team without travel at home that's been shutting teams down in their own right. They just played that Cubs team. Not the Cubs this was the spot today. The afternoon awful loss Cubs team just couldn't. Figures Pirates find a way. Now DeGrom has been a fucking specimen. We know that. He's got a 0.95 whip, a 2.86 ERA. So yeah, expect him to go out there and be on fire. His ERA does tick up to 3.73 on the road. So 2.85 goes up almost a full point. He's been giving up some runs lately. In fact, listen to this. Despite, the 17 in a row or 18 in a row trend that DeGrom was on there at home, his last 5 games, he gave up 2 runs, 1 run to the Athletics. Kind of interesting. Then 5 runs, 5 runs, and 3 runs. So he's vulnerable. And it's kind of along that same play that we're going to try to smack him here. 4.17's Bassett for his ERA. But at home, this dude pitches on fire. Literally. He's 8-0 with a 2.56 ERA. I suspect this game will get a little choppy. I do think some runs will kind of get poked around on this thing. But look, DeGrom's 0-7 after pitching more than 90 pitches. If his pitch count was over 90, 0-7. He's been showing that he's vulnerable. He's giving up runs, and he's checking the box. Then you got Toronto in the home dog role. I know minus 105, you could argue that's not really a home dog or not, but they started off as a dog, and they're 9-0 in that position as well. So we're going to let the hot team continue to stay hot, fire off here, get this win for us. We're going to roll on with the Toronto Blue Jays to get us some more MLB cash. Thought that was a reasonable tag, reasonable price. And we're going to roll on to this team here. The Athletics have been busting up lefties. That's not something I say very often because you know how much I like my lefties and unders to correlate. So with this game in particular, what are we looking at? What do we see? By the way, there's a couple other spots that I liked on the card. I'll just kind of rapid fire some thoughts for you guys. The under in that Houston Orioles game seemed like a good spot. Houston at home. Now, they just came off of a series at home where they were going over. So that's kind of why it didn't make the card for me. I like the White Sox tonight. They're sitting at plus 150. You can get that plus 1.5. I think this is a Royals team that, you know, they're just 500. They're not at all accomplishing what their potential looked like to start the season. They're 30-29 at home, and a White Sox team that's played since the All-Star break, the most profitable team in baseball. Tigers and Twins, you know what I like with the Twins is when they're hot, they stay hot. The Twins make a lot of sense to me. And the Yankees and Cardinals, I like them Yanks. I'm not going to mess with that Diamondbacks-Rockies game, but I did want to talk about the player I mentioned earlier. It's Ketel Marte. Ketel Marte's got the special, what was it called? Basically, they're giving the players the latitude to deviate from the uniform requirements of Major League Baseball. He's got a special banner, special bandana that he's wearing, and it's in honor of his mother who passed. This is a little different than City Connects and bobbleheads because he chose it. It's got special meaning to him. He's playing at Coors. He should be able to go out there and absolutely smash the ball, if not multiple home runs. So I like this guy pretty much every game this series. We'll see what he does and keeping an eye on him for every game this series. Think about those prop bets. Some of these books have those live betting prop bets out there, and you can fire away and take advantage. As far as the Athletics are concerned with this game, yeah, try to keep a brisk pace. My voice is part of the Tostitos halftime show, it feels like, too. It feels a little scratchy. 70% of the bets and 64% of the cash are on the Angels. Narrative here is the Angels continue to thump and pump all over this Athletics team. 72% of the bets, 78% of the cash. They can't win. All right. Pump your brakes. It is Yusei Kikuchi. He's got a 3.37 ERA, 6-7 on the year. It's Perkins on the other side for the Athletics. And just felt like this is one of those spots where you're getting the cheaper price tag. You're trying to turn a plus money spot out of something where you look at this Athletics team. Yeah, they busted up Baltimore. They came back home. They lost the first game. They won the second game by a shutout. They lost the third game, 8-2 to Tampa Bay. The Angels have won 4 of their last 5. But this is where I think there's a collective exhale. They just played the Dodgers. They played at Detroit prior to that for this Angels team. You got a total pegged at 10, so the bats probably should be flying out here. But it's Kikuchi and the Angels that found themselves in some winless positions. Kikuchi on the road against a shit team. When he's lined between the 120s, you know how much we like these spots. In other words, the books aren't sure. Should he be a favorite or a dog? He loses. He's 0-8. He does not rise to the challenge. And this is why I mentioned that drop down in class. The Angels find themselves 0-10. If they won, trailed after the 7th inning and got 4 more runs, right? So it's kind of like they got a little bit lucky to finish off that game. And the margin of victory in those spots, that 0-10, they're losing games by 3 runs a pop. Last but not least, when you've got a rested Athletics team at home in the revenge spot, not the rematch, the revenge. Rematch would be they played them already and beat them. Revenge is they played them and they lost. They're 8-0 in those spots. They exact revenge and they win by almost 4 runs a game. So I fired on the Athletics. Shout out to Station Play 21, favorite evening show. Peter Gracia says, thanks for the Friday vodka remedy. Dana Delplex Yelich to get an RBI. Okay. There we go, Jeff Matthews. By the way, Jeff, thank you for paying attention because that was very much a trend that popped off the top today was what do teams do after getting shut out 1-0? They go back and they win. So not only is it a shutout, but the 1-0 shutout spot. Sir Mackey loves pie, likes DeGrom. I was going to tell you guys the Kikuchi over 6.5 strikeouts made sense for here today. That's a plus money price tag, I think, is why that one kind of lit up the radar for me, the dashboard today. Sadly, though, look at the DeGrom price tag on under 5.5 Ks. It's juiced, minus 140 plus for this guy. But I do like Kikuchi. I like that plus money price tag. Kind of counterintuitive to the play on the Athletics, but he's only going to go 5-6 innings. Maybe he goes 7 innings. Athletics still find a way to get out there and get that exact their revenge. They're not going to quit early. They want their revenge. And I told you about Ketel Marte to round us out there for the player props. Last game on the Major League Baseball card. This one's got a little controversy laden within it. It's the Padres. The Padres at plus 150 for me in this game. Now, I got some trends to back it up. We're not just throwing an arbitrary dart at the board here, but 33% of the bets, 57% of the cash, the highest differential on the card today, bigger bettors, sharper bettors coming in there betting on the Padres. Total's gone from 8.5 to 9.5. I don't like those full run movement. I've talked about it time and time and time again. Spots that I want to try to avoid. So I'm not going to get involved in the total. It is Kershaw. It is Peralta. Peralta comes in here with that 3.13 ERA. Big acquisition for them boys. Not Freddie P, WP. And he's been thrown out there, 3.13 ERA. So it's the road. That's a problem. We're going to acknowledge a couple of things here. First and foremost, it was supposed to be Michael King, I believe, that was supposed to pitch for the Padres. So there is a little bit of a change. Ordinarily, I do believe pitchers are a creature of their routine, their habits and their routines. However, the other team doesn't have the advantage here of having prepared for Michael King, who's been suspect. Michael King just went on the IL, if I'm not mistaken, this morning. It is Clayton Kershaw. He is a lefty. It does support that lower scoring opportunity here to reverse move that full run to the over. Came off of a 6-inning start, got hit 7 times, only 1 earned run surrendered. No earned runs the game before that. He did find some trouble prior to that, though. He was giving up 4 runs, 3 runs, a couple runs out there coming out of the All-Star break. So, probably the big move out there was that last game where we were taking the under in that Toronto. It was Scherzer and Kershaw, and everybody was saying these guys are washed and it's going to go over. It didn't. It stayed under. And the reason was these guys that, despite being older, missed the first third of the season. So they had rested arms. But you can't ignore that you've got the San Diego Padres coming in here on a hot streak. You got the Dodgers clearly not. Road teams that come in off a sweep are 54-16 to start a new series. Padres just swept them up. Better team on the road is a dog versus a team returning home. Sometimes that hardest place to play is back at home after you spent your time on the road. That's got a healthy sample, by the way. 217 wins and 168 losses for the better team on the road. And of course, the NL and the National League, the road dogs are firing right now. They've won 6 in a row. In division, this is the spot that I like to get to here, was in the division. So you've got familiarity. The home team that's on a losing streak have lost 11 straight times. It's 104-61 on an 11-game losing streak. You fade them Dodgers. You take them Padres. I don't care who's pitching. They're only going 5 innings anyways. Padres are 11-0 to the under when they're in the dog roll against lefties, so it does support that reverse movement. I think there's some merit to be had for that. Let's fire off. I'm going to go to the WNBA. I'm going to give you guys this quick popper. Really what it comes down to for me with this game, with the Dallas Wings, I don't trust them full game. The Dallas Wings will get out there. They've got the Sparks coming into town. Sparks are an over team. We know that they can go out there and pump up 90, 95 points on their own. And that's where I think that this team that doesn't like to play a lot of defense in Dallas could be problematic. I don't know that the wrong team's favored, but I know this line's moved 2.5 to 6. So I'm getting the first half was 2.5, and it's moved to 3.5. So I'm going to take that first half with the 3.5 on this Dallas Wings team. I don't care if they win the game or not. I don't care if the Sparks go out there and put up 100. That's a spot that I want to get involved with. And then I listened to you guys the other day. I'm going to go right back to it. I'm a man of my word. When it comes down to it, I see our guest is backstage, so I will STFU here as I finish this off. But I'm going back to Seattle. Look, I get that the Dream have been thumping these girls. They played up in Seattle, where you would argue that Seattle has their advantage, and they lost. They went back, they lost. They played them in Atlanta, they lost. They just played them. Now, this is that quick revenge. Two things that came into this. I talked about it 2 days ago. One, teams after they play in Seattle lose. Two, they got like a triple revenge narrative going on in this spot here, and I'm getting it at 2.5 points. I know the Dream have been playing phenomenal at 21-11. Not buying it. Not me, not here, not tonight. And I got one last, I'll give you this spot I'll give you 2 spots really quick, and then we'll get to our guy backstage. I'm going to respect his time, keep him rolling in here. I took the Titans on the money line. This line's been ping-ponging around. Maybe I'm nuts here because we've got the home dog in Atlanta, but the public's been smacking away on it. And the narrative that I like here is Cam Ward. Cam Ward calling the team out, saying that he's not happy with their practice. He's trying to motivate the team. They think they found their franchise quarterback with this guy. And, well, he's not going to play the full game. He's going to be that cheerleader on the sidelines that probably annoys the shit out of you. He's probably up there rooting, hooting, hollering, getting you excited, trying to keep you in the game because he wants this win today. So forget the points. Lay a little bit of the juice on the money line. And the last spot I've got is 8-1-1 to the under in 10 preseason games for Seattle. 39.5 is the number that's been pegged on this thing. So we're going to take the under 39.5, Kansas City, Seattle. That's the 10 p.m. spot. You know, there's a lot of thoughts going on out there. You look at specifically underdogs with 0-3 records and a total under 40. They're covering around 54% of the time. So it's not a ton of margin out there here, but Seattle's at home. Their offense stinks. They're going through offensive and defensive coordinator transitions. They've got Jalen Milroe, Drew Lock, and Sam Darnold, and I don't expect we'll see Sam Darnold. So not a lot of oomph to push the ball down the field, but Kansas City does not believe in covering spreads in the preseason. Think about it. They know who they are. They've been a Super Bowl contender time and again. They're trying to keep the rest on the legs because they expect to go deep. They're 7-30-1 in the preseason. So I could certainly support fading Kansas City, but I like the under. I know we just saw all those overs last week. I'm going to fade the narrative and give that under 39.5 a look. And I hate to keep him back there. So let's bring him on without further ado. It's our friend down there in Vegas, Las Vegas, Mr. Babakitis. Happy Friday, my friend. TGIFF.
Thank you. Yeah, and tomorrow I actually get the day off for the card. I'll be at the Westgate Golf Tournament, so thankfully I'm going to get to, enjoy this card with the rest of the fans from home, probably being a little bit of a degenerate. I'm really looking forward to this card, though, man. I know we lost a couple fights, but this is a amazing card. Yeah, but I wasn't going to probably get too invested in the Brian Battle fight anyways. So, I like Ruzabayev. I thought he was a nice looking dog price, but I'm okay with that one going. That's fine. Yeah.
And then what was the other one that we lost out there? Was
Bobby Green fight.
Yeah. That one I'll miss.
I just thought both of those fights shaped up to be fun fights to watch. Not even necessarily that, I was going to bet anything in either of those fights, but just stylistically, I thought those were both, fun fights. I can't believe Battle missed weight like as bad as he did,
Dude,
going up to 85. Yeah, it's pretty pathetic for sure.
You went up and you still can't get down to where you need to be, man. I'm not going to tell with a $7.7 billion what to do, but you might have to get the scissors out and start making some cuts on this UFC roster after that. It's just unprofessional.
Yeah,
right? The other
guy's a bummer.
You think about what the other athlete looks like, and they spend their time. They're bringing their camp out there. They're getting all jacked up. All that money and investment too. And sorry, your fight's been canceled. So I think we know what was happening. But the fun part is Susurkayev comes out of this thing. What a crazy 72 hours for that kid, Andrew. He kicks that guy in the abdomen and Dana White Contender Series. He gets his contract. He's doing a UFC presser, and he's slated to be on the big card. And it's not even the curtain jerker, which is crazy to me. Yeah. Have you guys been getting any action on that one?
That would probably be one of the fights that would be the least entertaining to talk about, honestly. I mean,
Okay.
it had such a short shelf life, and just, following the price, you can see that the books are basically doing anything they can to try to get customers to bet on the dog, right? Because they know what's going on. That guy's going to get thrown into every public parlay possible, right? So you could see that one opened at minus 800 and it's sitting minus 1100. Like, the books are trying to tell you, hey, please stay away from the favorite in this one.
Well, that's an interesting take. I didn't think I was going to get too much involved in that anyways. I mean, it's not like the guy's got to do a lot of weight cut with that thing, but there have been some interesting looks when it comes to weight cuts. I'm going to tell you what, let's get you in the driver's seat. This is a big card. So you tell me what you guys have in terms of how you want to cover it, but there's a couple fights I know that kind of grab my attention, but let's do the thing. Let's hear what you have to say, and let's see what kind of questions we can derive from your breakdowns.
All right. I like it. I'll do my best to, touch on the fights that have a little bit more information. Some of them are, better than others, to say the least. We'll just go through all of them, and I'll keep some of them nice and short. For example, this first fight. This is another fight that had very short shelf life. This Idris fight. I think this is the Ultimate Fighting Championship fight. We opened up at minus 320. We're currently sitting minus 500. We've seen action on Idris just in parlays, nothing crazy. So you can see the movement in that one as well. The books are not wanting you to they're trying to tell you to stay off of the favorite, the way that one's been moving so aggressively in such a short time period. But then we'll go to the Silva versus Barbosa fight. This one's got pretty solid action so far. We opened up Silva at minus 160. Pretty immediately, we got hit by one of our smarter customers at minus 175 on Silva. We've been a little bit higher than the market on Silva the whole week, basically just doing our best to try to get a couple bets on the dog before fight day. Because a big card like this with that's going to warrant a ton of public handle, you know what it is. There's going to be a bunch of parlays tomorrow. So we've been doing our best in this fight to try to get some Barbosa money just based off of that early sharp action. I know these two had fought before and Silva actually lost, so it's interesting to see her sitting at minus 230. But to keep it pretty brief, we did get hit by a respected customer at minus 175 on Silva. And like I said, we're trying to take some bets on the dog here. The Ruzaboya fight was supposed to be next. That was canceled, obviously. We'll go to Edson Barbosa versus Drakkar Klose. This is an interesting one. Clint, I was on his podcast earlier. He mentioned to me something I really didn't know or hear, but he mentioned that Barbosa had been, talking about possible retirement coming up soon. So, I don't know if that changes any of your guys' opinions about the fight, but it is an interesting, viewpoint, and it might be why we've been getting so much close money this week. We opened up Barbosa at minus 150. It got as high as minus 170. A couple of the guys in the back, we all kind of were leaning Barbosa. But like I said, the action has come in on close. We got hit on close at plus 150, plus 145. I wouldn't say from necessarily a super respected customer, but that liability adds up quick. And, that moved the line for us. Now we're sitting Barbosa minus 140, and we're going into tomorrow needing Barbosa for a decent chunk. We'll go on to Hernandez versus Hooper. This is a really fun one to talk about. We always call our guy the big guy. He's been having a down year, but over the last 10 years, he's been our most successful UFC bettor, especially with the amount of money he's betting. He actually came in and bet on Chase Hooper very, very early in this fight. He laid the minus 290, which was pretty surprising for us in the back because he only bets underdogs. That's his thing. So to see him come bet Chase Hooper at minus 290 was interesting. It was his I went through his stuff today. That was the first favorite he's bet all year. So he came in early, kind of laid the dump truck on Chase Hooper. And yeah, we've been doing our best to try to write some Hernandez money back, which hasn't been that difficult. We have gotten some respected bets back on Hernandez at about plus 300, plus 290. But going into tomorrow, we're going to do our best to at least get that number to where it looks like we're breaking even on Hooper. Like I said 5 seconds ago, we're going to end up needing some dogs with the public parlays. So if Hooper ends up losing, it's going to end up being it's going to be good for the book. But we're doing our best to mitigate the risk in that one. We'll go to the Andrade versus Loopy fight. Loopy opened up minus 220, so you can kind of tell what's happened just based off of that price, right? We're sitting minus 140 on, or minus 145 on Loopy now. We took a few early shots on Jessica Andrade, plus 190, plus 175. And like I said, you can see the movement in that fight. Clearly, that indicates that there's some respected money on that side market-wide. Yeah, so that price has moved quite a bit from where it's opened. But over the last 24 hours or so, I would say there has been some Loopy traction, and it seems like her price is starting to inch its way back towards the direction of where it opened. But as of now, going into tomorrow, we need Loopy pretty big, which I'm happy about. Where are we next? The Meerschaert versus Oleksiejczuk fight. This is another one that it's been pretty solid booking wise because we've gotten a few shots on the dog. We opened up Oleksiejczuk at minus 220. It got as high as 230, but there's been a few shots on Meerschaert. Like I said, I think that's a positive for us to do, to write some dog money early. Nothing overly respected, but several shots on Meerschaert to where we're needing the favorite going into tomorrow. Great spot. Still, tomorrow we'll probably need Meerschaert, but going into tomorrow, as of now, I'm feeling good about where we're sitting on that one. The Nolan fight, we briefly talked about that. I don't really have much to share. It's such a big favorite. He's going to be thrown into parlays. He's probably just going to take care of business pretty quickly. You even got the total at a 1.5, under minus $2. So they're expecting him to win, and they're expecting him to get a finish pretty quickly, I'm assuming here. So yeah, we'll quickly speed through that one. We're going to the main card now. A lot of fun booking these ones, and if you guys have any questions about any of these fights, I'm more than willing to talk about them because there's been a lot of handle. I'm expecting this card to write more money than any card so far this year, just based off of how these prices are working themselves out. Tim Elliott versus the Asakura. This is a step down for Asakura. He got thrown into the UFC. He's fighting Pantoja for his first fight. It's pretty wild. Yeah, he's looking for a bounce back. Oh, wow. It looks okay. So it looks like the big guy came in on a third play, and I didn't even know about this. This must have been either when I was driving home or recently, but it looks like the big guy came in and bet Tim Elliott at plus 265. Before that, we did have some customers laying minus 300, minus 320 on Asakura, but it looks like our decision has flipped quite a bit. It looks like we're going to need Asakura pretty big as of now. Like I said, the risk will look a lot different with all the parlays and stuff tomorrow. But wow, the big guy, yeah, he's in on a third play, and it looks like he, it's a 5-figure bet on a price of plus 265. So that liability obviously adds up very quick. Going into the next fight, Cannonier versus Michael Venom Page. We opened up Michael Venom Page at minus 175. I've seen a lot of love for Cannonier. it hasn't at least on social media, it really hasn't come through to the book. And yeah, that price keeps getting a little bit wider on Michael Venom Page. We're sitting minus 205 on Page. So like I said, that one's moved 30 cents in his direction. I'm expecting to see some bets on Cannonier tomorrow, but as of now, we need Michael Venom Page. So another one where we're sitting in a spot where we need a favorite. I'm feeling decent about that one. We'll go to the Carlos Pratas versus Jeff Neal fight. This one's been a lot of fun as well. We got multiple respected bets in this one. Pratas opened up minus 270. At that point, we got some Jeff Neal money early. And yet, actually, yesterday, one of our sharper customers came in and bet Jeff Neal at plus 210. So, yeah, that price has crashed quite a bit from minus 270 to minus 200. This is another fight where we sit needing a favorite going into tomorrow. This is one of the fights that has a more respected bet on a total as well. The same customer came in and bet over 2.5. And, if you think Jeff Neal is a good bet, I think the over is kind of correlated with that, just based off of Pratas, being a lower output kind of guy, getting a lot of finishes, right? So yeah, there's a respected bet on the over at over 2.5 at plus 105 and on Jeff Neal plus 210. Going up to the co-main event, really, really looking forward to this one. There's been a lot of love for Aaron Pico in his first fight. We opened up Aaron Pico at minus 125. Instantly, that looked like it was the wrong price. The money was kind of flooding in on Pico early. We got a super respected bet at minus 140 on Pico. The price shot up all the way to minus 200. At that point, the big guy came in. This is his third play of the card, and he bet Lerone Murphy at plus 165. So, this is another fight going into tomorrow where, as of now, we're sitting in a spot where we're needing the favorite pretty big. And yeah, this along with Asakura is one of the biggest decisions on the card. We actually need Pico pretty large, even despite all that early action on Aaron Pico. Not much regarding the total, a little bit on the under at that big plus money. Going to the main event, this fight, man, I kind of feel like I was super wrong. The crowd and the fans are totally 100% into Hamzat. And yeah, I just wasn't expecting to see this kind of handle this week coming through the window. I was seeing huge bets on Hamzat all week. And there's love for DDP. So this has been a really fun fight to book. This is a fight we put up a price early in the year at minus 190, or in May at minus 190. And now we're sitting minus 260 on Hamzat. And like I said, it's been heavy handle on Hamzat this last 7-day period, or maybe 14-day period. And we're going to end up needing DDP in that fight.
That's crazy. I guess not that crazy. I guess what I've been hearing a lot of is there's a narrative about the gas tank for Hamzat, right? And it's like, so I heard somebody talking about it earlier this week, and it was like, I mean, the guy's fighting for a belt. You think he's not going to be working on his cardio, knowing that that's his exposure reliability? What do you guys see with that in mind? Are you seeing any love on the under for this total, or is this thing kind of just all over the board right now?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, this is one that's picked up a ton of action in the method of victory market. They're betting Hamzat sub for we got some serious liability on that prop. I mean, a really simplistic way to look at it, which probably is not how it ends up, is, if DDP can get through the first round, he has a good shot. Who the hell knows how that's going to play out? You don't know with Hamzat. He's a freaking wild man. He might go in there and choke this dude out in the first round. I really have no idea. I'm expecting a really fun fight. But yeah, this fight, dude, I can't believe how much handle it was riding. I wasn't really expecting it, honestly.
I heard Uncle Dana say that this is the biggest fight of the year so far. And the billing, and to see the card and what they're doing with it, it kind of makes a lot of sense behind it. But that should be a great main event. And I got to be honest, I was a little surprised to see Murphy and Pico. I hate when people say I got to be honest. What am I going to lie? Murphy versus Pico. It's just like my pet peeve, and I still do it, Andrew. And I hear myself doing it, and I'm like, why are you saying that?
I do the same thing.
Murphy and Pico. So I kind of felt like the narrative here was, yeah, we see these fighters come in from outside, circuits, and the lights are too bright for them. But the difference I thought with Pico is this dude's only 28 years old. So
yeah,
being that they're placing this guy in the co-main event, I felt strongly that you've got an undefeated Murphy. Like, this is a fast track process for somebody to be going out there and fighting for a potential fight or for a potential belt. So I don't know if there's any validity behind that or not, but I like this Pico spot. And what are you seeing there as far as anything on the totals? I heard you saying that Pico's kind of some of your biggest liability between Asakura and
no. Yeah, we're gonna need Pico and Asakura. So yeah, the big guy came in and bet Murphy for a very healthy bet on Murphy at plus 165. But yeah, there was a ton of early action on Pico, and you can see that's why it moved from 125 all the way to minus 200. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that fight. It clearly looks like they're trying to set him up for the fast track to the title. I mean, if he gets this win, I mean, he might be next. He really might be next. I don't know. He could be next.
And I think style points can get him certainly on his way. I like that one to end inside the distance, but I heard you talking about some of the cash and the way it's been moving here, but I put my stake on Pico and to win. I just thought, maybe he goes out there and KOs him. Maybe he wrestles him. Certainly the guy's an Olympian type of wrestler, and a lot of talk about just his dynamics and physicality out there. Prates and Neal spot was a little bit surprising to me. So you're catching the Neal. I like the Neal spot. I jumped in on him earlier this week. I think I got him around, 2.25, maybe something like that.
Yeah.
Is it consistent betting that's coming in here on this Neal side of things, or is it just really a couple of big hitters that came in and popped you?
Yeah, it's been, it was a majority from, a big bet from a wise customer, and that kind of changed the way we were booking this fight, right? What's coming tomorrow. There will be some backers for Prates just based off of the price, but it looks like you getting a 2.25. You're gonna get it looks like you got a great price. It doesn't look like that one's gonna be pushing its way back up to where we opened it. I just don't see it getting there, just based off of the customers who are betting on Jeff Neal.
Looking through some of the other notes you wrote there with the Idris spot, it sounded like right on the curtain jerker there. Not trying to keep everybody off the Idris side of things is what it looks like there. They're kind of shading that thing a little bit.
Yeah, it's kind of tough with these fights. There's very, very limited amount of information, right? Like half these books, when you're trying to put up method of victories and stuff, I can get a general grasp of doing guys that we have a lot of information on. But a fight like this, you don't even see a market for method of victories or exact rounds. It just shows that there's just limited amount of information. The lines are going to be very volatile, and that's just kind of how it is with some of these. I'm not going to say lower level fights. These guys could both be really good for all I know. Yeah.
But their placement on the card, placement on the card indicates what kind of fight we could expect potentially.
Yeah, and that's why you see such a volatile market. Like, it moved from 320 all the way to 500 in 2 days.
Man, that is just unbelievable. I love hearing that stuff about the Hooper spot there with your big guy. That was great insight where you're talking about he likes his dogs, but looking back at his action, he's not afraid to take a favorite if he thinks it makes a lot of sense. Kind of gives me a thought here. One of the questions that I got messaged to me was, some of these unranked fighters that come in, some of these guys that are either lesser ranked or they're regional guys, and they're getting that shot. If you see, I guess, what is the relationship between the betting volume and how you might react to it if it's an unranked fighter? Are you willing to kind of let it roll a little bit longer, or if you see something that's coming out there, is it like, oh shit, somebody might know something and I got to make a move?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely wise. I mean, all the sports. I mean, the sports that have stronger markets, right? They are not going to move as much, even with a respected bet. Like NFL numbers, you might see a move a half a point when a service comes in and plays the side, but it's not going to move 7 points. Like some of these fights that there's limited information about, you see them move in 200 cents. It just happens. I mean, it's crazy in the fight game. Obviously, I prefer fights where it's just from a booking perspective, it's you get good action on both sides without moving the line that much. I mean, it's very, very simple from our perspective. If we have to scalp ourselves, we're not doing the right job. Like you're going to lose money if you're scalping yourself. So you try to do your best to read the market. We have the certain books we respect. And if they're moving in certain ways, there's sometimes that we do move off of air. I mean, it's not super common to move off of air, but there's guys who are just watching the screen to bet things that are moving. They have no opinion. They're just betting numbers that are moving. So hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah.
The smaller level the fight is, I'd say the more volatile the market is, the more aggressive moves you'll see for sure.
Awesome. Great stuff. I don't know, from a question in the chat, I'm kind of excited here. It changes gears a little bit, but I got a couple questions and then I'll pop this one off to you here. Your fight here, the one that you like the most as you were looking at the numbers and the sides, if you had that proverbial free spot, the free square, which one do you like from your personal fighting experience? Not your personal fighting experience, but your personal. I don't know if you're getting out there, getting in the ring on the weekends or not, but you know what I mean.
I mean, I wrestled in high school. That's about all the martial arts practice I had. I probably could use some of that and get back into jiu-jitsu or something. But looking at these fights, man, it's really tough to say. I want to give you a good play.
Man, there are some. I know I talked to a couple different friends of mine. I know my brother's big on the. I think he liked that Barbosa fight to end inside the distance.
Yeah,
he was.
I could definitely see that. Hey, man, I love playing totals too. But if I had a money line that I was gonna bet, man, dude.
Doesn't even have to be a dog. I mean, it could be one of those situations where you're like, there's just too much good value on this guy not to take this price.
Yeah. The more the loopy fight comes down, the more I feel intrigued on betting loopy. Just because we don't know Andrade, you never know what you're going to get with her. She always has that chance to go in there and get the finish, but loopy's tough. And I think if that one goes to a decision, she's more likely to win. And this price is coming down closer to a pick. And at a certain point, there's going to be buyback. I mean, she opened minus 220, and now you're almost looking at a pick. I'd say that's probably the side I would I would lean.
Great insight, because to your point, you guys are opening it up. You're expecting to try to take some even action, but at the same time, when it moves that far, at a $2 or $3 favorite, the implied probability might be 70%, 75%. When that thing moves down to a pick 'em now, it's like you just got 25 percentage points of implied probability in your back pocket. So I get that movement on the other side, jumping back in and saying
all these guys make fun of the COV in the UFC though, because it's like whenever you're talking about how much COV you got, it feels like the play always loses, dude. It's so annoying. But
two schools of thought, right? The one school of thought is I got to beat the number and get it out there so that everybody can get the best number that's out there. On the other side of it is, just give me the win. I believe in the late is great betting philosophy. So, let me get all the information I can. That's why this show, the 6 o'clock window, popped off the way it did. Cause it's like, I've got all day to marinate with this information, and doesn't mean it's going to be a winning decision, but you would hope more often than not, the longer you have to sit on the information, the more informed a decision I think you can make when it comes down to it. But hey, we took you long enough, my friend. I know you've got things to do. So, and with the day off, the last thing you want to do is stay here from overtime. So one last question, and it kind of gets me excited about some things that we've talked about before, but a little spinning of the tables here, talking NFL. Which NFL future bet might have you the most worried in the underdog position?
I could tell you some. I could tell you some of our one of our biggest liabilities that I know we're looking to not happen. I mean, um, the Niners have a pretty easy schedule. A lot of people have been betting their over season wins. I know that's our biggest liability for them to win the conference. So I'm going to be rooting against the Niners this year. Like I said, I know they have an easy schedule, but that one sticks off the page for sure. That's one that we don't want to see happen. That's probably the biggest liability for the conference. But yeah, man, I know we've talked in the back channel a little bit about potentially doing an NFL show or something coming up, and yeah, I'll definitely dig into some more fun info because I'm keeping up with a million different future pools. So
Sure.
yeah, it'd be a lot of fun to talk about those pools, and if people have questions about specific awards or whatever, yeah, I mean, I'd love to talk about that stuff.
Well, we've got you here. You've done a great job for us. We appreciate it. A lot of big card, a lot of insight. I know the last couple you kind of mentioned, hey, this one's going to be a big one. And yeah, it doesn't surprise me that the handle is the way that you're making it sound like it's going to be out there. But I know you guys have a lot of other things happening out there with the Superbook. So you've got, hey, it's last call essentially. The stragglers coming in here to register for some of the contests. Tell them what's going on and where they can find you there with the Superbook.
No, yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, this is the time that everyone's signing up. We had designated people out there doing contests all day because this is when everyone's coming in with their proxies and stuff to sign up for the contest. Like I mentioned before, we're doing the college football contest for the first time. Man, we it's exceeding expectations for sure. We're getting a ton of signups in that one. The Superbook contest is always gonna sell itself. We've been doing that thing forever. Probably, when I was in elementary school, they freaking started that thing. So yeah, that thing's going strong still. But yeah, for the UFC fights, it's going to be a lot of fun now that we're going to Paramount because we'll be able to get these big pay-per-view fights on the big screens for the fans. So I'm really looking forward to next year. When the UFC gets to the Paramount platform. But for this card in specific, like I said before, we're going to do some reduced juice on probably the main two fights tomorrow. So if you're looking to get a big number down, you're not going to find better splits than betting with the Superbook on these fights, and honestly on the NFL as well. So yeah, this is a great book to add to your profile. Like always, I love coming on here talking. We'll definitely get creative and come up with some fun ideas before football season. And yeah, if you haven't followed me on X and have any questions, hit me up. I'm always pretty much available. Yeah, appreciate
That's awesome.
you.
You've done a great job, man. We love having you in here. I know we're rooted in the MMA. We love the combat side of things and everything from sponsoring our LFA guy to getting in there, doing the live streams. Dana White Contender Series now starting up. There's so much happening in the world of combat that it's just you got to stay connected to it. Otherwise it passes you by really quick. So you're a key asset for us and teasing some of these things that we're going to do here for the NFL season. So I'm fired up, man. I'm excited. This is the time of year. We're back, baby. We got sports here. And you guys got to check out Andrew Babakitis on X, Babakitis24. Tremendous wealth of information, releasing info for the Dana White Contender. Got information going on out there for UFC 319, line movement, boxing, upcoming fights, trying to get in front of it on everybody else. Closing thoughts, anything that jumped off the page for you from a PFL perspective?
That's one, I kind of talked these guys into, being able to book that. So those don't really get as much shelf life or handle, but we put them up this morning. I saw some of these big juicy favorites on the freaking card that are, a lot of people are betting the unders in those fights. The Kovalov fight, I did see some big action on the under in that fight. Yeah, it looked like there was early actions on Mads Burnell, but it looks like there's been some significant buyback on the Watley side. But yeah, I don't really have anything too respected on the card that I'm seeing.
The more time that the material can kind of sit there and age, right? The more information you'll have when you're dropping info the last minute there or the day of, it certainly doesn't get the same love and attention it does for the UFC 321. I'm sure you guys are already rolling in bets with that stuff. So terrific job, man. Enjoy your day tomorrow. I don't know I don't know the score you're planning to put up there on that scorecard, but I hope that you hit them straight down the fairway and chipping and putting. Remember, you drive for show, you putt for dough. And appreciate you joining us here, you guys. Appreciate everybody. Make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. Give Andrew a follow out there. You'll see our friend, of course, Ramon Scott with the Morning Steam at 9 a.m. And we're going to go live. Looks like we're going to pop off around 6 p.m. We'll get on this live stream for UFC 319. Good luck with all your action. Thanks for following us. Have a great Friday. We'll see you back here on Saturday.